Last time on Desperate Attune, we started with the crew trying to figure out how to deal with the two falling star swordsmen they'd pissed off. They'd stolen Hambir Rao's prized sword, and shortly afterwards, Baldmurad and Pilot sent some shit to Diamondtooth by mail, suggesting that he should eat it. Following an intense debate, they decided that the best way to save face was to phase him out in the open. The crew challenged Hambir Rao to a duel in the Colosseum, with Diamondtooth as his second. The pair, eager to humiliate the upstart peasants, gladly accepted. Saeeda, figuring that she could count on Samoom's protection, was the crew's champion. Mushfiq, figuring that he had nothing to live for, offered to be her second. Meanwhile, Bidrohi and Moss made plans to act behind the scenes. Using his Anrakis contact Leo, Bidrohi made arrangements for Moss to sneak in undercover. Disguised as one of the Colosseum's combat landscapers, she'd have ample opportunity to plant traps. On top of that, Bidrohi recruited the Blue Smoke Troop to drum up hype before the duel and act as cheerleaders during it, while he made plans to get himself in the commentary box to ensure the coverage would be in the crew's favor. Soon, it was time for the duel. It was a rare rainy day in Uduasha, and the arena had been set up to mimic the bogs of Kethrys. Slick boardwalks crisscrossed a pool of mud. And now, with the combatants taking the stage, we pick up the rest of the story.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks. And that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. The rain is driving down over the arena, the Colosseum, and we see, it's pretty heavy rain in the desert, because that's how it goes when it rains in the desert. So it troubles the audience from, seeing a little. It's not a great day because of the rain, right? But people are still curious and interested. And there are 2 reasons why things are going in your favor. And the first is Mumtaz, who, ever the performer, has leaned into this idea. And so she has shown up wearing Kethrysy themed sari, and it's wet. And she is visibly wearing very little underneath it, and is doing a whole show with this, basking in the attention and spinning and whirling as she does there's always entertainment before the actual fight. And the Blue Smoke Troop has secured this, and so Mumtaz has stolen the audience. This is the first reason why it's controlled.
Excellent.
And the second reason is the rain itself, because there is these walkways laid out, and the landscapers, the battle landscapers, of which Moss is a part, have done a job of making kind of a labyrinth of them. But you want the fight to take place in the middle where people can see it.
Yeah.
And so there is an exceptionally narrow wooden walkway stretched across the center of the arena, where it is intended for you to meet. And we see the 2 combatants. So in the background is Turzan Diamondtooth, the enormous hulking man. In he has a head, a hat, more or less on. A headpiece.
I'm glad that he has a head on.
Yes, a hat is what I meant to say, a headpiece. He has a hat to protect him from the rain. He's broad-shouldered, his bare arms visible so he can flex his biceps. And Then before him steps out Hambir Rao. And Hambir Rao, as has been described before, is like, he's not an overly muscular man. He's practically built. He has a very beautiful curly black beard that he takes very good care of, and steely eyes. And he takes so good care of it, in fact, that he doesn't want it to be rained on. And consequently, as he advances towards the center of the arena, towards Saeeda, he hefts in one hand this practical sword that he has just taken off the shelf, and in his other, an umbrella. A very beautiful red umbrella that will somewhat impair his balance. But his vanity is hampering him here. And this is why this is a controlled position. Because it's rainy, it's a little bit windy, and he's on a narrow walkway. And all of this kind of screws with his balance a little bit. But at least his beard and hair aren't getting wet.
In that case, I think I know what Saeeda looks like. And they do not have an umbrella. They don't even have a hat. I think they are very much exposed to the elements. They're wearing like a sleeveless vest and maybe like a combat skirt. And really, what you see is the sash, with which they fight, is kind of like wrapped around them several times before, kind of coming out on one side, and it's kind of wrapped around their arm, and like that's what they're going to use to fight, right? And the reason that it makes such a difference, really, is that the Kethrys school is not flamboyant. It's not, showy. And it's so obvious in this moment that there's one person who's there with like an umbrella, not taking this seriously, and there's the other one, and of course they do kind of look like a little old lady, which really doesn't help. Who's just like, I'm taking this dead serious, man. And you just, this is disrespect.
Yes, absolutely. And Hambir Rao is not taking this seriously at all. He had hoped to fight someone who isn't you, and this is basically just an insult that it is you.
Yeah.
But just briefly, before we cut to the beginning of this fight, which we are absolutely getting to, starting with the fight, right? Where are the other PCs at the moment? Starting with Mushfiq. Is he standing behind Saeeda somewhere?
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there, dressed similarly. The rain is lashing down, so his hair is just like, usually it's curly, but now it's just kind of just flat, like just plastered across his face. He's got a pretty grim look on it. It's a very grim expression because he's been dressed up in this traditional, or at least what Saeeda considers to be traditional Kethrisi garb, and he's not too happy about it.
Yeah, I do think that one of the problems here is that you might have wanted it's fine for you to have an umbrella, and Saeeda was like, nope, that's not how we do. The rain is part of you just gotta do it.
Yep.
You know what keeps the militia happy, Andy? Keeping their feet dry.
Yes, I think this is where Mumtaz has like exploited this, because you guys are wearing like traditional Kethrisi garb that's all like wet, but it's meant to be like, it's fine if it rains. It rains a lot on the coast. It's a thing, and Mumtaz has just taken this and turned it like into a sexy concept, right? Where it's like it's meant to be revealing. It's meant to be wet. It's meant to cling to the body. Whereas on you guys, while on you guys it's just like, it's you get wet, it sucks, but
Right.
Indeed. Speaking of Mumtaz, where is Bidrohi?
I am. I think I'm outside the commentator's box, or as close to it as Leo can get me. In fact, I'm with Leo.
Yep. Okay, so you're not with Mumtaz, you're with Leo. Good.
I mean, I'm with Mumtaz emotionally, and my eyes keep going there.
Yeah.
Also, I'm Leo... with Mumtaz aesthetically, because as soon as she pointed out the possibilities of rain and garments, I'm like, okay, I want some of that for myself.
Yeah.
So I look fucking good.
Excellent. And Leo, it has a little private booth, and his has a little canopy that got rigged up before the rain. And I think as he is an artist, one of the reasons that he actually goes here, and he goes here sometimes, is to sketch. I don't think it's that he's a particular fan of the fighters. It's just, it's an excellent way to get some insight into how people move. So, the models don't hold still, but he does a couple of like quick sketches of just like, oh yeah, the sword arm following through.
That's cool.
So he is with a little piece of coal sketching being quite content. And you are probably, if you're hanging out with him, then you're in his little private booth under a canopy.
No, I am next to. He's under the canopy, and I'm next to him. I can be under the canopy too. There's room, but I want to stand in the rain because it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So you stand in the rain to look cool and to match Mumtaz, which is something that she has implicitly challenged you to. I think, like, look as good as I do.
I mean, that's not possible, but I will do my very best.
Yes. And lastly, of course, there is Moss. And the question is, do you even want to define where Moss is? Or is this the Moss could be anywhere kind of situation?
I think in the beginning, like, we'll see a shot of Moss being with kind of the landscaping crew, right? Who are there waiting, and kind of waiting in the wings for if anything breaks or if something needs to be done about the arena, or if I don't know, a screen needs to be drawn up, they can go there and do it. But yeah, I do expect I'll be moving around.
All right, excellent. So you are there with the landscaping crew, who I imagine are wearing probably as unobtrusive clothes as possible, just like all black, as stagehands often do, right? So, yep.
I wonder if any of them will jump out as a tiger.
Yeah, one can always hope, right? Okay, so having established where everyone is, cutting back to Saeeda as you walk out onto this walkway, and Hambir Rao comes to face you, looking increasingly annoyed with this whole situation. He's probably more annoyed at having to be out in the rain than having to actually fight.
Yes, that makes sense.
And
I would like to do something, if I may.
Okay, sure. Before he even has time to say his cool line, go ahead.
Okay, so the fight's about to begin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm carrying his sword, and I want to really make a point of this. Like, I'm really showing that I'm carrying his sword.
So, not the first duel give is carrying his sword, the second is. Yeah, that's an insult too.
Yeah. So I'm carrying his sword, and like I'm kind of nonchalantly, but I want him to notice that I have it. And then I see him, and then I pick the sword up. I look at him, and I say, I say, a man should fight with his best weapon, and I toss the sword at him. And now I want to flashback. To Mushfiq alone in the crew hideout, very carefully filing away at the sword blade near the hilt. So it will immediately break if it hits something.
Excellent. Okay. So it's a flashback, and it's from a controlled position, and you have standard effect. You can do this. And you don't have to play a flashback cost for it, I think, because you telegraphed you were going to do this. So it's not like, you had plenty of time to prepare it.
I'm going to assist. But I'm not going to assist by colluding in the cheating, because it's not that Saeeda doesn't think cheating is bad. I think she's like, fine, whatever, but this seems aggressively bad. Rather, we're going to flash back to all of the lectures that Saeeda has given Mushfiq on the proper construction of a sword and how it should be like balanced and all of this, right? And that's going to help you figure out how to correctly break it.
I think there can be two things going on here, actually. It can be a tinker or it can be a sway. It sort of depends on how you want to frame this. If this is more about like it's probably tinker if your goal is to just have this be as subtle as possible. It's probably sway if it's more like, maybe it's obvious, but he won't have time to notice.
I would have thought this would be wreck, rather, right?
Oh, yeah,
this is carefully applied sabotage.
Yeah, wreck works. Wreck absolutely works.
So, tell me if I'm on the right track with this, but I think that he definitely wants his sword back.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm rolling for is, have I sabotaged this like subtly enough that he won't notice?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
All right.
Okay, wreck, controlled standard.
Okay, so I've got one assist die from Saeeda. I really want this to work. Is there anything else I can get?
Okay, I can offer you a devil's bargain, of course.
Right.
That's always a possibility. And I think the devil's bargain is simply this. The second is allowed to bring one weapon. This is the weapon you brought.
Oh, that's all right.
So you will be unarmed. We're establishing that now, right? You can't pull out a second weapon. But if you take it, then...
Yeah, by the way, I'm in heavy loot. Because even though I think it would be like incredibly cool to be in light load and be like, I'm such a badass, I don't need anything, I should probably be in heavy load. So
Yeah.
that's the load that I'm in.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can always flash back to have like hidden something away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got the landscaping crew, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But you won't have any other weapons on you, and we're
That's
establishing
alright.
that now.
That's
Mhm.
okay. I want this to work.
Yep.
All right. Ooh. And it
It's
does.
a 6. It works flawlessly. You roll a 4, a 6, and a 3. And the 6 is what matters. So he, seeing you do this, he just drops, he just like chucks the sword he borrowed into the mud, not giving two shits about it, and he catches his blade. And he nods at you. And I think in this moment, he actually really respects you. He's like, he goes,
What an idiot.
thank you.
Okay, I mean he's thrown away his sword, so I go. Actually, may I?
So he hurled it down from the walkways and into the mud is the thing.
Okay.
So if you want to
Okay,
hop off the walkways and like burrow around in the mud for it, you probably can.
Okay,
But-
I'll
Exactly
do
what he
that.
expects from us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that when Saeeda engages him in battle.
Yeah. You may want to wait until people aren't
Yeah.
looking at you because it looks
Yeah.
kind of undignified, like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense.
So he explicitly hurled it down into like a puddle, and the ground is muddy, and
Right.
also it sank. But
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fine.
yes, but he catches the sword. He like studies it for a second, just looks at the glinting blade, and he says to Saeeda, I guess, like, "Well, if you were going to give me this back, you may as well just have apologized."
Oh, that's not an apology. That's a handicap.
Ah.
I just didn't want to beat you when, you weren't at your best. I bet, you lose and then you get to say, well, it's because I didn't have my sword on me. It's just unsportsmanlike.
Oh my god, epic one-liner from Anti-Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sighs and he says, very well, then. If you want this to be a fair fight, go on. And he just kind of shrugs. He's just like,
Yeah,
fine, attack
sure.
me. Try to strike
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, which I am going to do if he
Uh-huh.
lets me, why not?
Yeah, and I
Um,
think you're still in a controlled position largely because his goal here is just to parry your first blow. He's not even trying to
Yeah.
hurt you.
That's fine. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
mark my fine edge sash,
Mhm.
as previously established.
Yeah.
And I am going to do something very stupid,
Mhm.
which is you see them kind of draw the or not even draw, right? Like
Mhm.
the sash is kind of wrapped around, and she starts swinging it, and I think as she's swinging it, she mutters the name of the devil Samum under her breath.
Mhm.
And I think Saeeda is calling upon the demon that possesses them in order to, school this man in
Okay.
how to, swing
It
the
sounds
sword.
like you're literally taking a devil's bargain here.
Yes,
and
correct.
bargaining
Yeah.
with the devil inside you. Yeah, okay. So you can absolutely invoke Samum for a bonus dice. And
But I'm also a theologist, so I get to speak the name for my own purposes. So-
okay. Okay, so you're using a special ability, not a devil's bargain. I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I can offer you a devil's bargain on top of that, but
Yes, please do. I would
yeah.
love a devil's bargain.
The devil's bargain is simply that you give Samum control over your feet. So, like, you can do whatever you want with your hands, but he is going to be controlling your feet.
You know what? That sounds great because in Saeeda's mind, and like I'm like this in my life also. So in that way, my character and I are the same. If you do something and you make it harder, that just means that it's worth more, right? That's why you always got to do things in the hardest possible way.
Okay.
Go hard.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will not have control of your feet until you do something about that. But
Yeah, right.
Okay, excellent. You have a bonus dice, and what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to like disarm him, hurt him?
Well,
Like what?
I think as a master swords person, Saeeda in the Rising Moon School knows that if you can just end the fight in one blow, you should. Right? There is no doubt of this.
Yeah.
And so I think what she wants to do is swing, settle her knees, right? Like get into position and just launch one attack that maybe will disarm him. Technically, I don't know that the sword's been, fiddled with.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
But
So-
yeah, that's what I want.
We'll frame it like this. If your goal is just to break the sword that has been sabotaged,
Mhm.
then that is standard effect in this situation because you've been set up by Mushfiq. So it's
Mhm.
controlled standard to break the blade.
Mhm.
But, however, this will not necessarily immediately end the fight. And I think unless you do something about it, it'll look weird, right? Swords don't
Yes.
just snap. So
Yeah. Okay, so what I want
Mhm.
is I want this move to work in such a way that it looks like I genuinely did just break this man's sword.
Okay. So then I think you need great effect, is what I'm saying, right? With
That's
standard
fine.
effect, you can break it, but
Yeah.
it'll look suspicious. With great effect, you can break it and it'll
Yeah.
look. So you can push for effect or you can trade position for effect or something.
I will push for effect here, I think.
Okay.
Because I think it's incredible if I do this, and it's kind of really stressful for obvious reasons.
All right.
So
Controlled
skirmish.
great it is.
Controlled, great, 2 bonus dice, right?
Mhm.
6.
Excellent. Yeah.
It's a 1,
so-
2, 4, and 6. So it was
Yeah.
definitely either Devil's Bargain or the push that really
Yeah.
made the difference.
So you swipe out with the slash and the blade just breaks. It's just...
And Mushfiq goes, holy shit, Saeeda, wow! Oh my god!
yes.
I had no
think-
idea.
Yeah,
And let's keep the momentum with the crew, because Hambir Rao is no fool, right? He is
Yes.
overwhelmed and astonished by this, but he's now also taking the fight very seriously. So there's going to be just a split second after Saeeda does that he does something. But let's cut to Bidrohi for a moment, because obviously as this happens, the crowd goes wild, right? This is... You don't even need to hype them. This is fucking crazy.
yes. But I do want to know what Bidrohi says right now, because I think it would be
Yeah.
great. Find this out.
Yes.
I think Bidrohi is like he opens his mouth, he closes his mouth, and then he kind of grabs Leo by the shoulders and says, Leo, there has never been a moment in my life when I have regret. Okay, I love talking to you, I love talking at you, but right now I want to be talking to 1,000 people. Okay, that's the kind of moment this is. I want what I have to say to be heard by 1,000 people. Okay, do you understand? Do you understand?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He has dropped his sparkle. He's just like, what the hell just happened? So
Okay, it's that commentator box. Okay, I want to be inside there. I want to be in there. I want to be talking into the big, weird, fucked up magic horn thing there. I want to tell everyone. Okay.
there's an actual member of House Anrakis in there, he says. And I think actually this makes sense for the commentator. I think they're operating a magical horde, so they need to have a little bit of magic on their own. It's probably not a high-ranking member, but yeah, there's a person of some importance doing the commentating.
Okay, so who is it?
Yeah, well, I guess. Does Leo know? I guess he does. So
Yeah,
we'll make up.
He have to know.
We'll make up a name on the spot. What's a good name for a loud person?
I think that this should be someone from Uduwasha who... Something that I've been thinking about is that a very Bengali tradition is having like a dark name, like having like a calling name, right? So it's not the name that like your parents gave you, but it's the one that everybody called you. So maybe this person's name is just something like Deepu, right? It's like, I mean, she's probably actually called like something much more complicated, but everybody just calls her Deepu.
Okay, Deepu Anrakis. Very well, Tree. Since you've introduced this person, tell me a little bit about Deepu Anrakis.
Yeah, I think that she's fairly like, she must be very, very high ranking actually, right? Like not even fairly, if like she's able to like commandeer the box like this. And I think that she is I think she runs a book. I think she's a bookmaker. And the reason that she runs the commentating in this way is that like I think she's got like, she always has money coming in and going out on what's happening in the Colosseum. It's useful for her to be right there to see what's going on.
Yeah, so she is He is a gambler, probably not considered the most refined by the other nobility, but fuck you, I got money. Yeah.
Exactly.
So she is a woman of like low status for an Unrakis, but kind of a lot of money even for an Unrakis. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
This means that she is surrounded by guards.
Oh yeah, no, there's some amount of guards. I don't think too many because
But
you know
a few.
it's a function. But yeah, there are absolutely guards guarding the box and the horn.
Yeah. Also, she's a bookmaker. Aside from just the normal security, she also needs to make sure that people don't storm in there who have lost a lot of money, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's got thugs.
Yep.
So I think I look at this and I go, okay, Leo. My plan had initially been to storm the box and to tie up whoever was there and just take over the megaphone. But now I see that this is a great way to die.
Well,
so here is my suggestion.
Yeah. Leo picks up his charcoal. I think we're learning about Leo is that he is remarkably calm about all of your batshit insane plans for some reason. So he slowly picks up his charcoal and twirls it between his fingers and just listens to you.
Okay, here is plan. Okay, so Falling Star School, they are patronized by House Unrakis. Okay, we all know this. This is open, it's not secret. Everyone knows. So this is not, the commentary that is happening, it's not entirely, what is word? Okay, let's just say it. It is biased. It is biased as fuck. Sword broke, and all this lady said was was the sword tempered with?
Mm-hmm. I don't think she said that actually because of the great effect. I think the opportunity you're seizing here is that she was so surprised she hasn't said anything yet.
She hasn't even said it. Okay.
Yeah.
She hasn't even said anything, and oh my god, obviously, right? This is clearly it's not cool. So I think with your help, if you're willing to stick your neck out a little bit, Leo, we can go up there and we can say we need co-commentator who represents the Kethrys people.
Okay, so you want Leo to suggest this to them?
I want to go with Leo. And we shall be there, and I will be also, I have anticipated that we may need strong Kethrys presence here to counteract the clear favoritism. That is why I would like to introduce you to the greatest man of the people of the Kethrys. Mr. Al-Qadir, where are you?
Yeah. Al-Qadir stands up somewhere behind in the audience.
No, can I interfere with this somehow? I want to have this man narrate my incredible success.
He stands up from the crowd very suddenly and says, I'm Al-Qadir.
See, on. There he is. He doesn't even need megaphone. Natural talent.
I'm sorry. Are you Al-Qadir's going to be the co-commentator?
No, there's going to be two. There's going to be Deepu, Unrakis. There's going to be me, and then there's going to be Al-Qadir.
Yeah,
I see.
Okay, good. So Al-Qadir is here, and he has accepted your plan that this is a great opportunity to speak at length about our people, which is his favorite thing to do. So of course he's here.
Yeah, this is. When I see it, this is actually a great moment to really create Kethrys pride.
Yes, absolutely. And so, yeah, I guess you and him are going to approach the commentating box and try to get inside.
Yes.
By
asking nicely.
Cool. I think we'll do that in a bit.
Don't we love going from controlled great to desperate zero in 5 minutes?
And speaking of, Moss and Mushfik, you absolutely have also a split-second chance to act here. Otherwise, I'm going to go on with what Hambir Rao actually does. But
I want to do a flashback. But it can happen before or after Hambir Rao's action.
Okay, then I think I will just tell you what he does. Yeah?
Yes.
And here is, he is established as a dangerous sword fighter who just fucks shit up. His sword is broken in half, and he is temporarily taken aback by that. And because he's temporarily taken aback by that, you don't have to resist his attack, Saeeda. You can actually do something. But what he is attempting to do is just he blinks for a moment at his sword, having gone off very near the hilt. But it's not a clean break. There is still a point to it. So he's just going to try to stab you with it as if it were a dagger. Just lunge forward and plant it in you anyway.
Great.
There's
think
enough
that,
of a point that he can draw blood, so...
Yeah, no, fair. I think what I'm gonna do is I wonder, do you think that if I was going to do like a feint, if I was going to like pretend to go for it and then do something else, that I could potentially roll sway?
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely
'cause-
try to trick him. Depends on what your goal is, but yeah.
Because I think what I want to do here is have him commit to an attack that fails, and then like he just looks very silly.
Yep.
Right. So I think that if he is like coming to try and stab me, what I will do is I know how J. Clev moves, right? And I know that like we've established that there's like some jumps and twirls and stuff, right? So I think what I'm gonna do is just be an old woman. Oh no, I'm so slow. I can't keep up with like I just got lucky, and then basically just as he commits, it'll turn out that like he misread me completely.
Okay. Absolutely. So you can do this, and as I said, his attack on you will be slow just because he has less length of sword, so he has to rush up to you more than he had planned across the slippery ground, and so on. And your goal is just to make him look foolish.
Yes,
basically.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not intending any harm here.
All right, cool. I think that you can have standard effect with this. I think this is perfectly possible. He's on unsteady ground with a bad weapon and an umbrella.
Yeah.
But I still think it's desperate just because he is still
he's great.
an incredibly dangerous man. So
Makes
desperate
sense.
standard it is. And I have started a clock towards defeating Hambir Rao, and I've ticked it twice for disarming him. So
lovely. Okay. Also, this is how good he is. Without a sword, he's still only 30% done. 33% done. Right?
Yes. I mean, he still has half a sword.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Desperate standard. I'm happy to take any assists, but actually, you know what? And the problem is that the best assist might come from someone who is not yet in the commentary box. Is there anyone else who might assist? Otherwise, I'll just go for this.
I feel like I could assist with uneven terrain.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Like I think maybe I have told you which of the boards are not actually nailed down.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happened is I look like I've tripped. Oh no, the little old lady is tripped, but they haven't tripped. They're about to murder you. Yeah. Great. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Desperate. Standard. One bonus die.
One bonus die. And after this roll, the consequences of your last Devil's Bargain is coming into play. Because you see, after you do this, you are going to effortlessly pull yourself up into an elegant dance.
Excellent.
Because there is a dancing demon controlling your feet.
Yes. But I did roll 3 5s and a 6, and it was a 6. So I think it's Moss's advice that really made the difference. But it's a 6, so no problem. I love rolling sixes, by the way.
Him. Yeah, you sweep past him and he steps on this loose plank and it comes up and like strikes him. And then I think he falls off the planks into the mud. Like he doesn't fall down face first. He's good enough to catch himself. But he loses his footing and he slips down and he is like ankle deep in the mud suddenly.
Yeah. And I think this happens and, I guess I'm being, my feet are going to dance.
So
but it's also going to be super humiliating for this guy because apparently, like he missed and now I'm just dancing. So that's great.
Yes. What happens here is that Samoom, your feet take the center stage. Like there was a space between when you fought, right? And then he lunged, and then he missed, and he like fell off the stage and into the mud, and you just glide up onto this very center between where the two of you were standing, and you start to twirl and dance.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Yes.
I can only hope that someone is going to try and commentate this very soon.
Yeah, presumably. So, but let's see Moss's action first.
All right. So, my plan is to have placed a booby trap in the arena and told Saeeda about it. And I have from my items, which I have in my items a gourd of fire oil.
God.
It's a
Good.
certain oil that combusts when it comes into contact with oxygen.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an excellent thing to hide somewhere in this arena. Maybe either on the boardwalks or in buried on like a little island in the mud or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Totally.
Something that Saeeda can maneuver their opponents onto.
Okay. So I think it's a 1 stress. Oh, actually, it depends. You can tell me how much stress this costs. I will let you pick the cost yourself. But the higher the stress cost, the more conveniently placed it is. Right. So for 0 stress, there is one somewhere on the arena, and there'll be some work to lure Hambir Rao there. But if you want to spend like 2 stress, it'll be very nearby.
I'll make it a 2 stress thing.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, I don't think you need to roll anything yet because it hasn't come into play. But you have hidden a fire oil trap, and it's nearby, presumably near where Hambir Rao is like trying to get back on stage. And I guess the slight wrinkle here is that if Saeeda weren't possessed by a dancing devil, she could very easily bait him into this trap. But it's a little bit complicated now.
Right.
Let's also see Mushfik, because you were going to steal the sword while no one was looking.
Let's see. I think what fairly straightforward. I'm going to try to take Hambir Rao's discarded sword, and I'm trying to do it without looking like I'm scrounging around like some dirty peasant, as it were.
Yeah. So it's a prowl or a finesse, I think. And I think it's controlled still, because you have not generated any danger. You've been staying away from everything, so it's controlled for you. Controlled standard.
Yeah, while all this, Saeeda's dancing and Hambir Rao's falling into the mud, I'm just going to casually hop down and I guess, well, if you'll allow me to roll finesse, then I absolutely will.
Yeah, I think it can be finesse. It's drawing up the sword without, it's less about prowling over there and more about like you go in the direction of the puddle and then you pull out the sword without dirtying your sleeves. That feels like a finesse thing, right?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yep, it's a 4 and a 1.
Okay, so you succeed, but there is a controlled consequence. And this consequence is going to be one, that your cool clothes are ruined. They were already wet, but you now visibly have mud on them. And this is going to be a reputational hit. So I'm starting a clock here, and I'm ticking it once, unless you resist it. And it is, I'll call it fighting dirty. In this case, literally. And if this clock fills, people will just catch on to hey, you are not honorable sword fighters. You're just a bunch of peasants with sticks. So it's not that you will necessarily lose the duel if the clock fills, but you won't look as cool as you would hope if it fills.
What kind of resistance would this be? Resolve?
It's only 1 tick. I mean, please resist it if you want, but I think if it's more ticks, then it's worth it. But otherwise,
yeah, I think I'm okay. Also, in character, I don't think Mushfik cares at all about hopping into the mud.
No, exactly. So so far your reputation isn't very besmirched. It's like one of you rolled around in the mud for a bit, but it still doesn't look great. Like you look less like a cool and competent second, and more like a guy scavenging for a coin thrown aside or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think, because Mushfik just jumps in, he picks up the sword, and he kind of sort of very absentmindedly just wipes the sword off on his sleeve, like the mud from the sword on his sleeve, and he goes, oh yeah, that's nice. All right, I'll keep that.
Yeah, excellent. And then let us cut back to Bidrohi, who is politely asking the guard. So there is one guard at the door to the booth. It's one of those little. It has a canopy over it, and it has one of those little saloon style doors, I think, where it's a half wall. If you get what I mean. So it's not. It's not a completely enclosed space, but there is a little barrier, a little fence that you could hop over if you don't open the door. And there's a man standing by this who is Deepu? I forgot her name.
Deepu.
Yeah, Deepu's bodyguard. And he is one of the Anrakis guards, not as trained and elite as the fighters down in the pit. He's mostly there to look scary. He has a wide black mustache and is bald, and peering eyes. He looks you up and down.
Okay, so Leo can't get us in.
Well, Leo is going to try, absolutely. So he steps up and he says, like, excuse me, I would like to have a word with the Lady Anrakis, if you don't mind. I think that we have something to add about this spectacular fight, something that could be both interesting and profitable. Then he waggles his eyebrows. And I don't want an NPC to like necessarily settle how this goes, but I can roll for him if you are relying on this as your first line.
No, just establishing that he is saying something.
Yeah,
So
he is.
Then I think I'll say, I'll come up to him and I'll put my arm around his shoulder and I'll like slouch and like, I'm going to like really change my body language and I'll be like, oh, gee, shucks, I'm just a guy from Kethrys, and I see that there's a bit of a sparring match happening down there, and I figured that my friend and I here, this is Mr. Al-Qadir, he and I, we can provide some real colorful commentary that really shows off the nature of the Kethrisi people. How about that? So my angle here is that...
Can I tell you just that, like, how much psychic damage you just did to me right now?
That's supposed to be a Kethrisi accent, is it?
No, that's not. That's not the point. The point is, they will obviously, if we go up to them and say, "Hey, this isn't sporting. We should be allowed to represent ourselves."
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Go fuck yourself." But what if what if we say that, but we sound like complete morons?
Yeah,
So
I can see it.
Yeah, go on.
Providing a bit of comedy, as it were.
Yes.
Laughing at the uneducated oafs.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this could work. This can
And
definitely work.
that's why I have Alka there, because he doesn't have to try.
Yeah, the nobles of House Anrakis are cruel and they are the House of Laughter, and I think probably this has happened sometimes. They've had people up, in the commentary booth or on stage just to like laugh at them, right? It's the sort of cruel humor that they occasionally indulge in. So I think it can work.
Yes.
They
It's
are
like
assholes.
a devil's bargain to have to continue to talk like this until...
No. It sort of undermines the point of it too, because if you go up there and then you look stupid, then you actually don't accomplish what you want. So yes, Al-Qadir looks very surprised, I think, at Bidrohi's change of nature. He picks up on that you speak differently. And then he realizes, we're going for a good cop, bad cop, a dumb cop, smart cop. So he goes like, yes, sophisticatedly I infer that... And then he just starts to babble a bunch of words that don't mean anything. To look smart, you see.
Perfect.
Yes. And
so I think we have set up for a roll.
Yes, and here is your devil's bargain. You don't have to keep talking like this, but Al-Qadir does if you take the devil's bargain.
Oh no!
Okay, that's fine. We can figure out a way to keep him away from the mic later.
Okay, yes, good. So he is going to commit to his plan of sounding very educated.
Fair enough. Okay. What is my position and effect?
So, I think that you have limited effect, and the limited effect is you can convince this one guard. So you don't have standard effect of like, definitely they will all be okay with you being in there, but the guard will be like, yeah, this could be fun. And your position is risky, because like I don't think it can be controlled here. You're gaining access to a person who is somewhat paranoid, at least.
Risky limited.
Yep. I think that's your default starting position here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way to make it desperate standard. Could work.
I think the straightforward way to make it desperate standard actually is to physically lay your hands on the guard, right? Like paw at him, something, show that you are not an assassin with a hidden blade, but at the same time, for a moment, expose him to the risk that you could be.
Yeah, I'll be
if
like,
that makes sense.
And I tell you something. In Kethrys, we take our fighting arts very seriously, and we all got vim, we all got spunk, we all got spine, just like this. And I'm going to throw him a very pathetic punch.
Yeah, I think that can work. It's desperate now because, he may just hurt you, but you're also proving yourself to be harmless, so you can trade it up to standard. Even people beside this guard will see that you are harmless if it succeeds.
Cool, desperate standard. With a bonus dice.
Yep. For Al-Qadir.
Would anyone? No. I was going to say, would anyone like to assist with a flashback or something? But that would imply that I have learned this by watching one of you, and no,
Yeah. hmm
it's a 4. Well, it's a 5.
It's a 5. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
So
What is going to happen here is that you are going to be... So, you are dressed all stylish, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think
Well, mostly I am dressed very wet.
Yeah, you are kind of wet and bedraggled. Do you have any valuables on you? Do you have anything like obvious on you that denotes you as not a poor peasant? Do you think?
Well, there's Alkadir's nice vest.
Yeah. So I think the desperate consequence here is going to be twofold, and he is going to like kind of impromptu strip search you. So he's going to take your vest, and he is going to also obviously like search you for any weapons. So you won't be able to bring any weapons, and he's also going to fucking rob you. So you know.
Oh, bad man.
Yeah. I mean, you come up to him, you like hug him, he goes like, all right, let me just pat you down real quick. And then he's just going to like anything he sees that's nice, like your vest or whatever, he's just going to take it. So I think you will lose 2 stash. You will lose a coin's worth of stuff just because he takes like whatever nice things you have on you.
No.
Damn.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That is bad.
Yeah, but I think that is a reasonable desperate consequence here.
It is
No,
a
I mean,
reasonable.
It's great from the point of view of lol. He's gonna lose his vest. It's just bad for him specifically.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
tell you what, I'm going to resist him robbing me because I'm going to rob him right back.
Okay.
Come again?
Okay.
Like okay, and then as he's like stealing stuff from my vest and so on, I'm going to pick his pockets.
Okay. So how we'll handle this is first do a resistance roll and then do a risky finesse action. Because I think you're exposing yourself to more danger here. So instead of being robbed, you are now risking being robbed, right? So
Okay.
It's unusual, but I'm going to chain it into a second action. So first a resistance roll, and then a finesse roll to see if you can steal your money back.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Sure, let's try it.
2 success.
2 6s. You get 1 less stress. It turns out, I guess, as he is picking your pocket, the reason you lose the stress, I think, is you realize that this man is a man of taste and character, and he recognizes how nice your vest is.
Yeah, that's why I did not resist him stealing my vest, because I'm like, fair's fair.
Yeah.
You stole Alkadir's vest, and now Alkadir's vest will be stolen by this man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going. I told him I'd give it back to him after doing some laundry, so now Alkadir can get this man to do his laundry for him, I guess.
Exactly. Of course, this is the moment when Alkadir realizes that it's his vest. He hadn't noticed before. He looks to the man and goes like, "Ah, yes, excellent. Loose-lipped motor mouth, really. You can returniate my..." Just... He's just saying synonyms at him, trying to get him to do his laundry, but I don't think the guy even understands that.
Oh, perfect. So while this man is distracted by trying to work out what Alkadir's saying, I'm going to rob him.
Yes. All right. Finesse risky standard. See if you can get it back.
Okay, risky standard. I'm going to push myself. Or is there Devil's Bargain?
Okay. I mean, I can offer you a Devil's Bargain. Yeah. Okay.
I steal back my money. I also accidentally steal something, some like scrap of paper or something that I definitely shouldn't have on me, and I will not realize I have it.
Yes. I was going to go in a similar direction, but I'm not going to go for a piece of paper. I think what makes sense is that you're going to take his knife, because he has like a knife wrapped up. It's just like, a knife for carving fruit or whatever, but he's a bodyguard. He has it as a backup weapon. And it means that you're going to enter the booth with a noble, with a weapon, and not realize it.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do it. 5.
Okay, so you steal his money, you steal his knife, and what is going to happen here is that you get past this man, you get inside, and you're let into the booth, and he doesn't go into the booth because if he goes into the booth and starts to pick a fight, that'll be picked up on the microphone. He'll like disturb everything. He'll get fired. But he absolutely notices that you have robbed him. He just does it a moment too late, and he is pissed.
Well, the thing is, how can he really be upset given that he robbed you? The
Oh,
dichotomy of man.
he wasn't
Yes.
robbing Bidrohi. He was strip searching him. That's different. He is in a position of authority.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I got my stash back. Okay.
Yeah. You got your stash back, but the consequence is now instead that you have just really pissed off this man who realizes that, like, he believes two things are true. One, you're an unwashed peasant, you can be in there, that's all fun and games. But two, you stole his watch. I guess that's the valuable piece you got back. You stole his watch and his knife.
It's fine. You can duel him about it later.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I step in, and so what's the scene? So
Yeah.
there's
So
the
the scene-
horn.
Yeah, so there is the commentator herself and a second guard in here. I think she has guards at every door and then a guy inside with her, right? And the guy inside with her is just like her personal manservant / bodyguard. It's just the guy that follows her around. So he's very elegantly dressed, but he's just sitting back on a chair smoking a pipe, not like giving a fuck because nothing is happening. He's not even watching the fight. In fact, he doesn't like prize fights, I guess. Whereas Dibu is trying to gather herself to like commentate on what the fuck is going on, because this went very quickly. Saeeda like broke the sword, and then there was like a moment's hesitation, then a lunge, and then now she's doing a little jig. So I think she's just leaning forward towards the mouthpiece of the horn, and probably she has had enough time while this happened to say a couple of lines. So she has said across the line, and ladies and gentlemen, what we see here is it appears that the challenger has had a stroke of luck and gone mad from the realization.
So I think the way I'm imagining this is that there's the horn, and it's
Yeah.
like kind of jutting out from like an outcropping on this commentary box, and then there's like a sort of device into which you can plug in like several other horns, which is how multiple people can be commentating at the same time because they're speaking to horns that go into the main horn.
Fair enough.
So, but right now there's only just the one fitted there, and Deepu's the one speaking into it.
Yeah, and she looks over, and I guess she has overheard a little bit what went on outside, and she goes like, and you did get the full effect of convincing everyone here, so she goes like, oh, thank fuck, under her breath with a hand over the horn. He goes like, come in, provide a little bit of light entertainment, would ya? Yeah.
What she sounds like, yes. She sounds exactly like how Bidrohi thought he was meant to sound like, which is perfect.
Yes.
Oh no! Oh shucks! Oh no! Light entertainment. No, in Kethrys we go hard. We go fucking hard. But I say all this before I get near the mic.
Yeah. Absolutely. You get near the mic, Al-Qadir walks up, and somehow he knows how to plug in a microphone. You have no idea where this man learned this skill, but somehow he does. He's going to connect this as well.
Nice reference. Thank you.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So we're set up to commentate, and I will commentate the way I would normally commentate instead of the insane accent I was doing.
Yeah.
So we shall see what happens, how long they let me do that.
Yes.
But since they will definitely interrupt, I have a plan for what will happen when that happens.
Yes.
But we shall. For now,
you
can come back to give me something to commentate on.
Yeah. And I think Saeeda does this dance. Deepu has not actually commentated a lot yet because she was just like confused by what was going on and surprised, which isn't her job, but she's not super good at her job. And I think Al-Qadir begins by like bombastically, invitationously.
Okay.
He introduces you. He manages to do something like that, right? So bombastiously, introduciously, I give you Bidrohi. Yeah. Which is very also unrelated to everything that's going on.
Tree wanted me to commentate on the dancing. So I will do that, and then we can get away. Yes, my name is Bidrohi An-Khattam. I am the son of Ramu, who some of you will know died like a little bitch. Okay? But speaking of little bitches, I know little bitches very well. And like right now, there is man who is like total little bitch. Like one sword stroke and like his sword gone. He even didn't have his sword. Like like Sher-e-Khattam. Okay. I must digress for a bit to tell you about Sher-e-Khattam. Sher-e-Khattam is man of action. Sher-e-Khattam is man of power. Sher-e-Khattam is man of grace. Look at him now. He does not let a single opportunity miss him by. He is grabbing sword from mud. Because this little bitch man, he's like, I don't need my sword. I will throw it in the mud because I have my sword back. But now he doesn't have the sword back. Now Sher-e-Khattam has the sword.
Okay, confusion reigns supreme across the arena as Saeeda, against her will, does a weird little dance in sync with Bidrohi speaking because your demon has an excellent sense of rhythm. So
Great. Fantastic.
you basically turned this into a rap by stamping out the beat with your feet on the planks as Bidrohi speaks.
As one should.
Yes.
One should.
And so I think as this has happened, Hambir Rao is pulling his way back onto the stage, and I also think that Diamondtooth, like Turzan Diamondtooth, is getting very, very annoyed with what is going on.
As he should,
And I think
he's being embarrassed.
he is stepping out. He is stepping out of the walkways to try to basically chase Mushfiq off. I think it's not the job of a second to steal people's swords. So he's not attacking Mushfiq, but he's coming up and going like, he doesn't say it yet, but he has that attitude like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Get back to your station. So that's what he is doing. Hambir Rao is slowly climbing back onto the stage with his half a sword. And actually, one of the jobs of the second, I guess, is actually to give you a sword if you don't have one. So, yeah. So he climbs up on stage, and he's still holding his half a sword, but he's waiting for Diamondtooth to come closer. So this is what's going on. Both of them are kind of moving towards Saeeda.
Mushfiq.
Yeah. Sorry. So sorry, who's trying to get me to get back?
Diamondtooth is the second, the big guy, the actually scary guy.
I know I had a long scene, but this is a perfect moment. I have to seize this opportunity to say what I'm going to say, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, listen, I have told you about Sher-e-Khattam, right? Man of action, man of grace, but okay, none of you need me to introduce Turzan Diamondtooth because that man is like, wow, as I have told my friends at great and maybe even slightly tedious length, but can you blame me? And look at him. He is marching towards Sher-e-Khattam because he has identified who his real enemy, who his real threat in this situation must be. Only Sher-e-Khattam is worthy of facing this man, and he has identified him. Okay, Turzan Diamondtooth versus Sher-e-Khattam, go right now.
Okay. No, I'm meant to be the star of this show. Actually, no, Saeeda doesn't give a shit, to be clear. This is me taking great umbrage. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So Diamondtooth is still up on the walkways. Sher-e-Khattam, you're down in the mud. He is above you, and he's a large man with a sword that he is obliged to give to Hambir Rao, granted, but he has it now. So what do you do?
There's space underneath the boardwalk, I assume.
Yep, there is.
Yeah, okay. And maybe he's just simply too muscular to follow me underneath.
Yeah, or he doesn't want to get himself muddy. So you're going to disappear under the boardwalk?
Well, I mean, he's got the high ground, and we all know how that.
Yeah. Okay.
But basically, I wanted so that if we are fighting, he has to follow me down into the mud.
Okay, you want to bait him down into the mud with you.
Yeah, or try to find an angle where I can get back up on the boardwalk, and he's not just standing there, ready to cut my hands off. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You want to get him off the boardwalk and yourself optimally to so that you have the high ground somehow, whether that's on the boardwalk or just on a little hill or something. Yeah. Seems straightforward. I think it sounds. Well, you tell me what action it is, but it sounds like a prowl.
That sounds like a prowl.
Yeah, and it's not desperate. He's not even really trying to attack you. He's just kind of trying to chase you away. But I suppose it's risky. And yeah, it's risky standard. I think you can totally befuddle him this way.
Okay. All right. Risky standard. I'm gonna want an extra die, so I can push myself for that, right?
Yes, you can. Or I can give you a devil's bargain.
Okay, let's see the devil's bargain first.
Yeah, I think the actually, is it an interesting devil's bargain?
I mean, I can just roll. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a boring devil's bargain, so I won't give
It's
it.
I
alright.
can
It's
give you
alright.
an
I'll just...
assist here.
Mhm.
And I think the
Okay.
assistance is that as I am dancing and stepping in time, haha. I think that Diamondtooth thinks this is very uncouth, and he's going to be a little distracted because I'm I'm mocking the Falling Star School here and now,
Alright.
and I'm like almost annoyed about it. Apparently,
Yes.
so yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I've taken 1 stress, so you can have 1 die for me.
All right. Thank
Uh-huh.
I
you.
have a devil's bargain for you, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
Oh, have you
well,
rolled
I
already?
already rolled and I got a 6, so
Excellent.
you get to.
Okay.
That's
Mhm.
Well,
No
they,
worries.
with assistance. All right. So it goes exactly. Mushfik just has this in hand. Apparently, it goes exactly as you say. He jumps off. He was going to give the sword to Hambir Rao, and then you just sufficiently annoy him. He jumps off the boardwalk to follow Mushfik, and as I said, he's a big man. Mushfik is, imagine, quite muscular, but not, you're not well fed. You're not huge, and that's an
No,
advantage here because. This
yeah,
is
I
mud.
would say. Sorry, yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, Mushfik is probably like the wiry kind of
Mhm.
muscular. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this guy's just big, so he just sinks down to the knees in mud, and I think this is immediately your opportunity. He's just like, he's not completely immobilized, but it's one of those like, he did not think this through, right? That he
Mm.
very, very slowly wades around and kind of realizes like, oh shit, I have to get back up on the boardwalks. I can't fight like this.
All right. Okay, so the idea is to beat Diamondtooth up, but we're not trying to kill him, right? Like, at least that's what Saeeda said, that we don't want to kill him. Do you
Killing
want
is
to kill
bad.
either of them, or
Killing is bad.
I mean, he's too sexy to kill.
yeah?
Yep.
I'm trying
Sure,
to
that's
think of
also
a
bad.
way to immobilize him.
Yeah, disarming him would be one step, I guess.
Yeah,
The other thing is maybe Moss has prepared some means of immobilizing too. I mean,
yeah. I'm trying to. I was gonna say like, I was actually trying to think of a way to use the loose planks.
Mhm.
Unless
let's
yeah.
rope in Moss here. Moss can have prepared more traps. Why not? What's your plan for immobilizing him?
So, you know how in mud you could like have some planks just in the mud that are very breakable, and then like
Mhm.
a kind of sturdier planks make a pit, and
Yeah.
maybe put some like spikes in that.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly the sort of trap that Moss would have crafted for trapping animals in the wilderness.
Yeah, it's also the sort of trap that Mushfik is familiar with, probably, because this sounds
Oh, yeah,
exactly like
probably.
guerrilla warfare. So,
Yeah.
So wait, Moss has set up like a kind of like
a
injury-
pit. Yes, there's a
Okay.
pit trap nearby.
Okay.
Frail planks covered in mud.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I guess I have to lead him towards it. I go, oh no, please don't cut me down. Oh, no.
Okay.
I'll run away this way.
Okay. So, I think what is going to happen here is that I don't want everyone to just be rolling stuff assisted by Moss, even if Moss is in the background.
Mhm.
So I think let's treat this as a roll from Moss, actually, to set up this trap.
Okay.
Just because I think it's interesting to switch it up a little bit. And
Mhm.
the reason for this is also that we have concluded that he's already going after Mushfik, right? That's
Yeah,
not in question. So he's
Yeah.
wading after him slowly, and Mushfik can just move across the planks. And I think the question is, has Moss set this up in such a way that like Mushfik can move easily across it because he's lighter, and a big
Mhm.
heavy man with a big heavy sword cannot?
Yes.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
So you can tell me what sort of action it is, tinker or finesse or something like that.
Just for fun, I think finesse is the one that one that works, but just for fun, I want to call it hunt. Gather
Yes.
information
Yeah.
about its movements.
Yes. Hunt
Very
makes sense, actually. You're laying a hunting trap. You're calling on your
Yes.
hunting experience.
Mhm.
You're trapping a big old beast. Absolutely.
Good
So
shot.
I think it's risky standard, and the risk
Risky
is
standard.
mainly to Mushfik here.
I'm going to give you a bonus dice as an assist.
Okay.
I can assist as well, but what's your assist?
My assist is that I have spent a lot of time telling my sister exactly how hot Turzan Diamondtooth is and describing his body in great detail.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So Moss is familiar with his weight and build.
Yes.
Good.
All right, I'll save my assist for resistance if it comes to that.
I probably what happened is that you go like, he's as big as a tiger, and then Moss with experience of animals goes like, would you say that's a large tiger or a medium-sized tiger?
In fact, you know what? I bet they sell cigarette cards with like their stats on them.
Ah, yes.
Oh my god.
You bought a cigarette card with Diamondtooth stats. Fantastic.
Just 54 clash. Yes, absolutely.
Good. All right. So Moss, you're set up, and I want to point out again before you roll here. With standard effect, you can do it, but you will need great effect to make this look completely natural, I think.
Mhm.
So it's up to you whether, like, maybe you don't care at this point, but same deal as it was with Mushfik's sabotaged sword, right? If
Yes.
like
So-
standard effect just lets you do this.
I'm not going to push myself because I would throw out.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting. It's a 1, a 2, and a 2.
Okay. So I think what happens here is this kind of goes your way and kind of not.
Mhm.
And the reason is just like you have laid out this trap very carefully, and it's not like you know you probably have made the calculation correctly, but the rain and the mud has made it difficult to see where it is. And there was probably some sort of marker that Mushfik was supposed to keep track of that he just can't see. And so Mushfik, you stop a moment too soon, and Diamondtooth comes after you, and then you both fall in the pit.
Well,
Shit.
this would be a problem for someone without a hook shot.
Yes.
Okay, but before you hook shot out, I'm going to say something.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, this happens only very rarely, so I want you to really take a moment to put this inside your mind forever. 2 very handsome men are rolling around in mud for your pleasure.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
So, I don't imagine that the danger here basically is not that you're hurt or anything. It's that you're basically, you know, you're in a pit with this very large, strong man who can just grab you and like break your neck with his left hand. So you're in an extremely desperate position. But you haven't taken any damage yet because it's a, you know, you fall in water and mud. So
Yeah, and from this pit, I'll take a. I get up. And my entire world is just Turzan Diamondtooth, and so I'll gulp.
Bet your
I go,
ass it is.
Huh?
You bet your ass it is.
Yeah, and I go, all right. No, I'm checking out of this situation. So I'm gonna. I suppose there are trees and such, right? Because it's supposed to be Kethrys inspired.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to hook shot my way out of this pit and onto a tree.
Yep. Okay, you have standard effect because of your hook shot, but it's desperate because you are right next to a very dangerous man.
All good. And this, I assume, okay, this could either be prowl to get out of here, or it could be finesse. Maybe I'm handling a vehicle or a mount.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
your hook shot is sort of a vehicle or mount. I'll let you choose.
All right. And okay, I don't probably don't want to fail this, so maybe I'll push myself for an extra die as well.
All right.
Woohoo! Yeah, there we
It's
go.
a 6.
Nice.
So Mushfik falls in the pit and then somehow spring hook shots his way out, which is, I think, something that draws enormous gasps from the audience.
Yes, and as I land on the branch of whatever tree that I hooked onto, I look at the audience and I give a short bow. Like,
Yeah, excellent. And Turzan is he's not like completely trapped down there yet, because again, things didn't go perfectly to plan. There's still planks he can try to climb up on or so on, but he's definitely slowed down, and he is humiliated now because it's raining. This pit is full of water. His elegant silks are probably just permanently ruined, honestly. They don't take well to this.
Okay,
Being
here's a bit
soaked
of
through.
commentary at Mushfik's amazing move. And ladies and gentlemen, at the gates, we shall be selling merchandise of the Sher-e-Khattam hook shot, okay? You will find it there. And in fact,
Okay.
we shall retroactively set this up.
Okay, sure. You're
Great.
flashbacking to having set up merchandise?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I mean,
We love
Pilot
this.
and Murad have to be doing something.
Ah, yes, Pilot and Murad are selling merchandise. That's great. They're the ones who caused all this. And so you have them outside. Okay, excellent. So how the hell have you set up replicas of the hookshot? It's just his arm, isn't it? It's a prosthetic arm.
It's a glove with a fishing hook and a line attached to it.
Okay, yeah.
That's it.
It's a tier 0 hook shot.
It's not a hook shot.
A brief cutaway to Murad going like, genuine Sher-e-Khattam, what do we call them again? Hook shots! Yeah, hook gloves. Glove shots. That.
And
Come
people are
on.
like, what's a Sher-e-Khattam?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But soon they will know.
Yeah. Someone asked him, he goes, oh, let me tell you a story from the beginning. So there was this great guy called Ramu, right?
I love that Pilot still hasn't said a single word.
Yes. I think Pilot is much more quiet compared to him.
Yes.
Right. So outside they are selling merchandise, and inside all of this chaos is going on. And meanwhile, Hambir Rao has found himself without a sword, because his previous sword was thrown in the mud and picked up, and his second has now veered off course and fallen into a hole.
Correct.
So I think he's just advancing on Saeeda, and I think he scowls slightly, and he goes, I don't know what trickery all of this is, old woman, but I advise you to stop toying with me. And he is going to attack you again. Because, I mean...
and I think the mistake that he makes, of course, is that he stops to talk to me. And banter is for idiots.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's kind of has to approach you, so I guess he says it as he approaches, but yes.
No, sure. But, like, you know, like, I don't need to seem cool during the fight. So I think the only thing I will say is, my idiot students put up a better fight than you. And then, I'm gonna dash at him, because I want to, you know, punch his face in. So, skirmish.
All right. So it's desperate and it's limited because you still don't have full control of your feet.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm saying it gives you less effect in this instance. We'll treat it kind of like a level 1 harm temporarily.
Yeah. No, I think that makes perfect sense. But in that case, do you reckon I could mark warded to push myself? Because it's to resist a supernatural consequence, right?
You can absolutely take control of your feet back. And I think if you do mark warded here, you will just undo this devil's bargain. You have control of your feet again.
Okay, great, yeah. So I think what I'm doing, in fact, is I'm dancing, and maybe he even realizes that something weird is going on because I don't seem to be able to stop.
He definitely is. Yeah.
Right? And then I will say that thing about my students or whatever, and then I will say, in the name of Prince Khattam. And I will find my feet. I will plant them firmly in the ground. And then I'm going to attack him. And I think I'm going to push myself here for a die. No, for effect, because then I will be a desperate standard, right?
You will be a desperate standard after using your ability to push. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so if I mark armor, then the consequence is gone. Do I also get the better effect? I guess by definition I do, right? Because it's gone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you get standard. But I'm only at 2 dice because that's my dice pool, which is fine. Standard, no bonus dice. This did not go well for me.
Okay, so you take control of your feet, you dash at him, you see him, you have your hand on his half a sword, and then he throws it away, realizes that you're in actual danger, folds his umbrella together, and jams it into your chest.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
So it's not pointed, and that's the only reason why you don't die. It doesn't have, it's not a sword point, but he breaks your ribs. He's a strong man.
Yeah,
he breaks the umbrella too, but, it's... So you take a level 3 harm, broken ribs, and this is absolutely enough to send you rolling to the ground unless you resist it.
Yeah, I'm going to mark armor here. And I think that only a moron comes to a sword fight without armor, but also actually, in fact, to some extent, the armor here is just that, like, I've got the sash, like, wrapped around me, right?
Yeah.
So I think that stops it from, like, kind of piercing all the way through, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder. So I have 6 load.
Mhm.
But the rigging that I have gives me 2 load for free, right?
Yep.
Oh no, but I'm demon possessed. This is
Yes,
so annoying.
you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
the
So
demon
then
possession still wearing you down.
yeah, so it's still so I can't do heavy armor here because that would put me over my load limit.
Mhm.
Which I'm sad about. And I'm just like a bit wary of resisting because I'm 5 stress away. So if I roll a 5
Yeah.
or a 6, then
Yeah.
it's a problem, right? Or
Yeah,
which say
so-
I roll
Yeah, if you roll a 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
But-
that's such a low chance.
Yeah, you have. If you mark armor, it takes it down to a level 2 harm. So
Yeah.
that's that. Then you probably
Okay.
have bruised ribs,
Okay,
and then you
fine.
can resist
know
that
what?
too. But-
Yeah, let's resist. I mean, if it's 2 1s, it's fine. That's what I deserve.
All right.
Um,
All right. If you both mark armor and resist it, I think it can be resisted fully.
It's a 4, so I'll take 2 stress, which is fine actually.
Mhm.
So maybe what happens is that like I still get knocked over,
Yeah.
but I don't suffer the harm, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is, you don't resist the consequence fully, just the harm. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
still
exactly.
hits you with the umbrella. He still breaks the umbrella against you. He,
Yeah.
throws you to one side. You roll over the boardwalk. You probably fall in the mud actually because this is narrow.
Yeah,
So you probably fall off the boardwalk, which isn't a losing move because he fell off it before. But
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
he knocks you off the boardwalk and he breaks his umbrella. Now he has a problem because now he's completely unarmed. He's also wet, which is annoying him much more than that. But
Then not having a weapon. Well, you know what? I'll take what I
Yeah.
can get.
uh,
Yeah, and I think that if I see this, he's fallen. It's
Mhm.
not fun where I am right now, but it is what it is. I think what I
Mhm.
will do is I'm going to look at him and I will say, accept that you've lost. Forfeit.
okay. Yeah. So I think you're absolutely actually in a position to do this.
Right.
Because he doesn't have any weapons. He is a swordsman. It is possible to do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
And it doesn't deal with Turzan, is the
No.
problem. But it can deal
Yeah.
with Hambir Rao, because I think he's not an idiot and he is a kind of honorable man.
Yeah.
Reasonably enough, anyway.
Yeah.
But I do think it is desperate, because if he
Sure.
doesn't surrender, he can do things to you. So desperate standard.
Okay. I think the problem here, I mean, it's definitely a command, right? Like, can't be anything else.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have 1 die, so any help I can get would be good.
Bidrohi, maybe?
Okay,
It feels
remind me
like
what exactly you're doing.
I am
telling him to surrender.
to accept that he's lost, old man, and walk away from this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, the situation is he broke his remaining weapon on Saeeda and he hurled her down into the mud and he injured her, but she got back up. And so, he is unarmed and she isn't.
Okay, listen. Okay, Auntie and I, we have many differences between us, but she is stone cold, 100% full on, hard ass, badass, all kinds of ass,
Mhm.
But and this man, okay, I called him little bitch, but you know that I am exaggerating. He's a cool guy. He is cool. He's a good swordsman. He has honor. And right now, I can see that this is meeting of 2 equals who respect one another and understand that this is over, and they will walk away with mutual respect and lots of love from audience all around.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, everybody still knows that we won, right? Because like it's
Mhm.
not. You have to make that clear.
Mhm.
And also, we won.
Yeah.
Okay, good. As long as you say that, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But as you say we won, I think people are going to interfere with Bidrohi, but let's see Saeeda's action first. Let's see if you can get this
Great.
guy to stand down.
Fantastic.
I've been allowed to speak with my normal voice for quite a long time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I
okay,
think
great.
the reason is you're still entertaining, and
Yes.
Deepu's priority is still that this is entertaining, and she didn't seriously think Hambir Rao was going to lose until now. So
Mm.
That's because
Yep.
she's a moron who should know
Yep.
better.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just wondering whether I want to. Okay, the thing is, if I
Mhm.
push myself, then I'm really not resisting because it's 1 stress away from trauma, and I'm already 2 traumas down. Okay, I'm not pushing myself because I think 2 dice is fine. I'll take what I can get, and
Yep.
it is very funny. So desperate standard.
All right.
1 bonus die, right? So 5. I'll take
Okay.
the 5.
So 5. So you succeed.
Yes.
Which means Hambir Rao steps back. He raises his hands. And unless someone resists this, what he's going to say is he's going to invoke a rule. And I think he can't be heard very well down from here. So he just says something like, I invoke the rule of the brother in the desert. And what this means, which you probably have done your research on this, is that he's basically going, on a technicality, my weapon broke, so my second is allowed to take over. So it's one of those like, I am technically defeated, but my second has a right to step in because it wasn't entirely my fault.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So if he does this, he has to like leave the arena. He goes like, "Yep, I'm not allowed here anymore. I have lost, but we haven't lost because it wasn't,
Yes. Okay. This
it
is
was
great.
a technicality."
This is great because I think then if he says this, and I know this is true, then it's obviously unfair for me to fight his second, right?
Yes.
It has to be that the seconds fight each other, which is
Yes.
fine with me, right?
Yes. The reason this is desperate is mainly that now it is perfectly legal for Turzan to go all out.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
So
all
now he
I'm
can
gonna
fight
do-
as hard as he likes.
Yeah.
He can go out all he likes in that pit of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he will have to.
No, go on.
He's a little slowed down, but he is, he is no longer in any way restrained, and that is a desperate consequence enough, I think.
Yeah, and Mushfiq knows, just like Saeeda knew, that there is like very close by a thing that if it gets stepped on, it'll blow up.
Yes.
Right? Which is very
I was
important.
about to say, don't forget that.
Uh-huh.
So I think what I'm gonna do is Saeeda will kind of like make a face because it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, fine, whatever. And then I think we'll just say, then in the name of the brother of the desert, I offer you succor. And then I'm not gonna do the thing, because he's a sucker. See, haha. I'm not gonna shake his hand. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's honorable. No.
Yeah.
You want it's technicality, and I'm just gonna turn around and walk away.
Yeah, and I think the reason they have this specific technicality actually is that if your weapon breaks when you hit your opponent, then it's hard to say that you were defeated because you were disarmed, but at the same time you don't have a weapon. So
Yeah. So he's definitely misusing this.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I can do about it right now.
No, exactly. So he kind of saves face, of, but it's still a defeat. It'll go down in his official statistics as a loss and all.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is as it should be. Great.
On the cigarette cards.
Yep.
Yes.
And Turzan is climbing out of his pit laboriously. Okay, good.
Because what Mushfiq's gonna do is he's on the tree branch. He stretches his arms, twists his body from side to side, and now he's gonna jump off straight as a arrow, both feet extended, and then try to land on Diamondtooth's head and try to drive him like a nail back into the pit.
Okay.
Holy shit!
Okay. So,
Yes.
because you have the high ground and because you have a lot of other things
What is this, Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, because you have a lot of other things going for you, you can have standard effect, but Turzan is also a clock. He's also going to need wearing down.
Yeah.
I think he's not harder to defeat than Hambir Rao. He just hits harder.
Right.
So, like, in technical skill, they're the same. Turzan is just stronger, which is part of the reason why he's so fucking scary. But, it's desperate, obviously, and standard effect.
Of course. All right.
But you can both take this clock and push him back into the pit.
Yeah. What do you mean, like Tom and Jerry? I'm doing the obvious thing. Anyone would do this. Anyone.
Yes.
Anyone would do this, guys. Anyone. Yeah.
Jump on his head. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Desperate, standard, skirmish, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a devil's bargain, kind of a funny devil's bargain.
Okay.
You hookshotted your way up here. If you accept the consequence that your shot is still stuck in the tree, so that you're on a leash, you can get a bonus die.
I mean, I've been here before.
Yeah, it's a fun consequence to have your hookshot get stuck in things. So I don't mind using it again.
Oh, why not?
Yep.
Oh, that saved it. Okay, it's a 5.
Oh,
115.
Excellent.
Damn.
So, yeah. So it totally happens. He is, knocked down, pushed into the hole. And unusually, I don't think that the consequence here is him. Or actually, yeah, the consequence totally is harm. Never mind. I was going to say the consequence isn't harm, but it totally is.
Alright.
I can't really go with anything less because he is a dangerous sword fighter, and you know what you're doing. So it's a level 3 harm. It's once again not level 4 because he's kind of discombobulated, right? Or no. Okay, sorry for changing my mind twice there. It's a level 2 harm, and you go into the pit with him. I think, like it's a level 2 harm, and he has grabbed you. So you can resist either of those consequences separately, but. Like you hit him, he grabs you, and then he just kind of twists your arm or whatever, and that's where the harm comes from.
Give the people what they want. They want handsome men wrestling in mud.
For their pleasure.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, we will
Yeah,
cut to Bidrohi in a sec. Bidrohi and or Moss, but
that was out of character.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've dealt with enough harm. I'm going to resist the harm first. You said it was level 2. So first of all, I can mark...
Armor.
Yes, I can mark armor, yeah.
Mhm.
So that...
Takes it down to level 1.
Level 1, and then I can resist that to not have any harm at all,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You'll still be in the pit with him, but...
Okay, so... Oh, by the way, I ticked over my prowess the XP track. So do I add the point now?
You
or
may
then...
add it now. I'm totally fine with it.
Okay. Ooh, you know what? I guess it wouldn't really make a difference to anything. I'll add it later, I guess. All right, time to resist. Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
1 stress.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
you are in the pit with Turzan, who is bruised and discombobulated, but he does hold on to you somehow. I guess what happens is you don't take harm is he grabs your clothes. He doesn't like grab your wrist or something and break it, but he managed to get a hold of, like, your shirt or something like that.
You're too sexy for your shirts. That's what's happening.
Yes. Yeah. And Moth, meanwhile, I think.
Moth help.
Yes, what is going on is, first of all, these two are going down into the pit. Second, your fellow stagehand crew are starting to realize that something's going wrong here because this pit isn't meant to be here.
Well, they can realize it on their own because I'm not with them.
Okay, good. Where are you?
I am going to do one of the jobs of a stagehand, and that is when an athlete leaves the arena, I am going to approach him with a towel and take a drink and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, excellent.
So I'm gonna, I'm not convinced that Hambir Rao, now being pissed off, is not gonna come after us because I am, as we have established, now paranoid.
Paranoid? Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be just a stagehand. And I'm gonna sir, well fought, this and that, but I am going to let him know that it's me. And my thinking here is that one of two things happen. Either he attacks me and I'm then it's self-defense, or or I can talk to him and be you realize you shouldn't fuck with us after this, right?
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Sounds good. It's some sort of action, probably a sway. And I think it's risky standard because he's no longer armed. So even if he does attack you, it's...
He better not attack my sister.
Exactly.
If he does,
Yeah. Amazing. So yeah, he's walking back towards the door out of the Colosseum and you approach him with this towel and just talk to him normally, but show your face. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what sort of effect you have on him. It could be a command or a sway or...
I think it's going to be sway. They'll be oh, well fought. Shame about your weapon. But then again, do you think it would have made a difference? And I'm going to show my face. Is there a devil's bargain?
Yes, I think that there can be a devil's bargain here. And how do I best frame this devil's bargain? No, I think actually that might be more of a consequence.
I have one.
Okay.
I've been trying to get Malora Clev on the scene. Can she do this?
I don't know what it would actually do in this situation. But But sure, we can throw in a devil's bargain of Mylara Clev is here and notices you. I mean, it does get you into some trouble, so fair enough. I'll allow it. Devil's bargain.
All right. That means 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be it.
Yeah.
And it's a 5. A 3
Okay.
and 5.
Apparently, my
Okay.
Clev makes the difference.
Yes. So, Moss, in this situation, do you have a preference whether he attacks you or whether he talks to you? I will ask you because you did technically get a success.
Yes. It's better if he talks to me because then I don't put myself in as much danger.
Good.
If I can like pacify him by just talking.
Yes. So I think what happens is he sees you, and there's this tired look as he's like wet, bedraggled, and unarmed. And then his mouth splits open into a smile, and he laughs, and it's quite a genuine laugh. And he says like, "Oh, you are far cleverer than I gave you credit for. Well then, I suppose things are forgiven. But I don't abide being defeated by tricksters. You and I are going to practice together.
Oh,
That's your risky consequence. You are forcibly his student unless you resist him. So
This
he's
is
offering you a
excellent.
deal. Either
Please
stay
don't
my
resist.
rival or become my student.
Please don't resist.
why would you
Yeah,
resist
That's
this?
amazing. That's amazing.
I could hardly be seen becoming the student of a member of a rival school, could I?
No, you're a spy.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
saying-
an infiltrator.
Yeah.
I'm saying
You're saying this to him, yeah. He says like, very well then, come incognito. You're good at that, apparently. And then he
Yes.
just walks off.
that is exactly what I want.
Nice, very good.
He's just... So, yeah, that's the deal. Like, unless you show up at, he's going to send you like a message, meet me over here. If you don't show up, he'll consider you still his rival. If you do show up, your relationship will change.
Cool.
And I think 2 things are now going on. One of them is the devil's bargain of Mylara Clev, who is not all that comfortable in Uduasha. I mean, she's ethnically Iruvian, but she doesn't spend a lot of time here.
Let's do
So-
a quick introduction of this person for people who don't know Blades.
Excellent. Mylara Clev is in the standard setting of Blades in the Dark. She is the leader of the Red Sash Sword School, which is the same as the Falling Star Sword School, basically. But in Duskfall, so she is normally a leader of an immigrant gang, but now she's back in the homeland to meet her family. And so, it's a bit of an awkward substitution for her because she's normally like an elegant gangster, and back here she's just a person, a member of the sword school. And so the consequence of this is that she is absolutely going to ring an alarm in this situation. And that's just because she, who is much more wary with criminal elements, realizes that the staff at the Colosseum has been infiltrated. And her assumption is not that, they have infiltrated us to rig a match. It's that they have infiltrated us to do something. There are important people here.
Yeah, she's not wrong. We
Yeah,
are doing
so-
something.
Yeah, so she is going to move off and raise an alarm. Moss, you can stop her if you want, but you see her heading towards a guard with it's not like they ring a bell and they cancel the match, right? But she goes up towards a guard and she is going to tell him to raise security.
Mhm.
So you presumably, I think you see her as one of the few high-ranking people in the stands watching the match.
Yeah.
But she
Well,
doesn't have a
that's-
guard of her own, so she is
Mhm.
going over to alert them. And it's one of those you're used to infiltrating, right? You realize when your cover has been blown, and you realize that this woman has seen through you.
Yes. And I also know that the person who has seen something with her own eyes
Yeah.
is much less easy to divert from raising an alarm than the
Yeah.
person who's kind of gotten that information via game telephone. So I'm gonna interrupt the guard.
Right, so you're going to let the guard get this information and then interrupt
Yes.
him as he... Yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. So he rushes off towards backstage, and then I guess he runs into one of the stagehands, which is you. And he's been told that there are infiltrators, so he's obviously suspicious of you, but at the same time, he can't accuse everyone he sees of being the infiltrator, so... So what do?
Whoa! What's the big rush?
Can't talk. We got troublemakers afoot.
Wait, hold on a second. You've been told something about what sort of troublemakers? Like infiltrators or something?
I don't know. They were something called like the Lamp Blacks. It doesn't make any sense to me. It turns out Malera Clev is also paranoid and sees her arch enemies everywhere.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The lamp slacks.
Yes.
The lamp slacks.
Lambs
Basically,
wear slacks.
what I
Yeah.
want to tell this guy is
Mhm.
like, no, just calm down. There is a layer to this match, which I know because I've prepared it as one of the stagehands. There's a meta narrative about like that, like it seems as if the Colosseum's been infiltrated.
I beg
Okay.
your pardon.
Thinking like a LARPer, I see.
Oh my god.
Excellent. Yes, very well. I think you can do this risky standard. Let's see if you can persuade him.
I'm also like, I don't feel like I need to get this guy to stop. I just need to keep him talking for long enough for the match to end.
Yes. I think that is standard effect, not persuading him completely. But...
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, it is. I'm going to not push. Well, I can't push because I would trauma, but I'm also not going to ask for Devil's Bargain because this is so flimsy that I would think one die in Sway is exactly appropriate, but it is very funny.
Uh-huh.
I would offer an assist, but it sounds like you don't want one.
Well, if you can assist in a way that it's better.
I don't think Bidrohi can actually, because we're cutting to his consequence. Like you've been talking for long enough, so you're going to be distracted.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, these are more like flashback assists, but yeah.
So you say that there's a meta narrative, and he goes like, "Oh, spoilers! Oh, cool. So can you tell me a little bit more about who's on whose side? Is there going to be like a heel face turn?" And it turns out he got the job here because he's super into arena fights and he knows all the lore. And he's
so Hambir Rao, he's gonna come back halfway through and and I'm just gonna keep him talking.
Oh my god, you're
with a
breaking
folding
kayfabe.
chair. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't break kayfabe.
Exactly. This guy is just like, oh, awesome! I can't wait. Infiltration plotline, cool. So yeah.
Let's go back to the stand. You got to see this. It's really cool.
Yes. Yeah. He is so excited for this now. And meanwhile, Bidrohi finally is being pulled away from the microphone by the bored bodyguard who has been, Deepu has gestured at him to come and pull you away. So you're physically being dragged away from the microphone, leaving Alkader to take over.
No, this will not do.
Okay.
Okay, my friend, I am being grabbed and pawed at by this imperialist motherfucker. Okay? This imperialist motherfucker is pawing and grabbing at me and is trying to pull me away so that I cannot tell you my narrative. Okay? But I will not allow this to happen. Okay? Al-Qadar bhai, you will join me. Okay? And I'm going to grab him. And I'm going to deploy... I'm going to throw down a line. So I'm going to mark climbing gear.
Yeah.
And... this is very stupid, but this is what I've been wanting to do.
Are you and Alkader just going to rappel out of the booth?
Not just rappel out of the booth. I'm going to grab the horn and we're going to rappel out of the booth.
You're going to steal the horn?
No, not permanently.
Okay.
We need to make sure that it's only our.
Okay.
They were not willing to share the narrative agency, and I will keep the narrative agency for myself. Thank you.
Okay. So I think the horn. It was actually established that the horn is stuck in place somehow. Probably not like super firmly bolted down, but I think it's an action to get it loose.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part here, actually, to just get this, because I mean. It's an actual artifact, right? It's actual magic. They have employed the sophisticated security method of just fixing it to something with nails. So.
The really important thing about this sophisticated method is that you definitely need a hammer to prevent this from working.
But you only got searched for weapons. You might have tools on you. You have actually the first
knife.
guard's knife, which
Yeah.
you could use to pry it loose, I guess.
Why do you have this knife? It's not clear, but you do.
So
Yeah.
we established that there's the thing on a rocky outcropping that's
Yeah.
a few feet away from the commentator box itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get on there first.
Yep.
I'm taking Alcadar with me because they might
Yeah.
like do something to him if
Yeah.
I leave him there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like the trick here is to, because I can balance on this perfectly fine. He might fall down, but I'm holding on to him tight, and I'm going to use my knife to get this thing unstuck.
Okay. Yeah. So pulling him out of the way, get the thing unstuck. Very well. I think he is still holding on to one of the mouthpieces, by the way.
Fair enough.
As you put him away, he goes like, "Yes, suckers, you fell for my plan. I'll cut it out." And then he just stands there.
Oh yes. Alcadar is the Augustus Khan of this campaign, and I'm here for it.
Once betrayer, always betrayer.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So would this be? I think it's a finesse, or would you say it's the wreck?
It can be wreck or finesse. I think they have slightly different consequences. I was going to say.
I think I'll call it a finesse.
Okay. In either case, it's desperate, and the reason it's desperate is you pulled out a knife.
Fair enough.
But I suppose it can be standard. Like, you have a tool, you can reasonably wrench this thing away. I don't think it's that firmly, like, stuck on. You know, it's just. It's literally just one of those defenses so that people don't pick it up and walk away with it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. Is there Devil's Bargain?
Yes. There is a Devil's Bargain. I will offer it to you. And it is an out-of-character Devil's Bargain. It will establish something about Deepu.
Okay.
So we have established that she is a bookie, we've established that she's a commentator, and that she is a member of House Anrakis. If you think that she has Anrakis magic, you can get a +1 die. But that dramatically changes the situation, because then you're not just dealing with her bodyguards.
I think the reason I'm wary of this is that then this turns into a real us versus House Anrakis thing. And right now we're kind of being disrespectful to them.
Yep.
But like, if this person deploys actual magic and they have to defy it, then I think that really changes the situation.
Yes, it's a dangerous Devil's Bargain. I'm not telling you what kind of magic, and she's not, a true sorcerer of the house.
No,
but
yeah, I know. I'm just explaining why I will not take it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I will, however, push myself.
Yes, so then Deepu cannot really do anything about this situation. But
so let's see what happens. It's a 4-4-4-4.
4-4-4. Yeah. So you pry loose the horn artifact. You and Alcadar like standing on the ridge outside, ready to rappel away with the rope you've thrown down, and all. And I mean, there is still a House Anrakis bodyguard here. So as he sees you pull away, as he sees you get out, as he sees the knife is the crucial part. He doesn't just pull you away. He does his job to protect Deepu, and he pushes you. And so you are going to get your wish of getting out of the stand by falling. So he doesn't give a shit about the horn, right? He's just seeing that someone has drawn a knife around the noble he's here to protect, and so he's just going to hurl you out of the stand to get you away from her. Regrettably, you're pretty high up.
That doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
No?
I will admit. And thus, then again, I'm falling down. We have the rope. This is a Colosseum.
Yeah.
Is it okay? So how about if I fall, I'm going to take an action to try to like grab onto like one of the many, not red sashes, more like red banners.
Yeah, you can try to catch yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of just slide down one. Yeah, so I'm going to turn that into a maneuver.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do that then.
All right. Yeah, sure. You can make another action, I suppose. It's desperate and it's limited. And the reason it's limited is that by default, you can only slow your fall. This is still going to hurt. Because there still was a consequence you're dealing with. So it's probably going to be something like rope burn on your hands from the banner, right? You can slow a fall this way, but it's not fun.
I'm going to see if there's anything that can help us in this help me in this situation. Though I don't have any sort of like alchemicals or anything that can deploy. Yeah, I don't mind getting hurt then. I think I think it makes sense in character because I could push myself for an extra effect, but then I have like 3 stress away from trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do Desperate Limited.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, well, if I succeed, then I would like to say some things as I go down.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Yes.
You have the horn. You can accomplish this.
I think it's the finesse again.
Yep. Yep.
Desperate, you said?
Yep. Desperate, limited, finesse.
Desperate, limited, finesse. Is there any way anyone can assist me in this endeavor?
Man.
I feel like maybe I could be on the stands below you by this time.
I have an even funnier way from us to assist this. Actually, you have been maneuvering this guard around. Maybe he makes for softer landing.
Yes.
Listen, this is the ultimate meta narrative I'm setting up for you. Okay.
Yes.
He's getting involved.
Yes, he will get involved in the story.
Participation.
Okay, so the fall will be cushioned by this guard. So is someone gonna like jump down from above and then Bidrohi lands on him?
Remember, like 2 sessions ago, we had a long discussion about breaking down the audience and the audience participant roles.
Yes. Very good.
Yes, very good. Okay. 6.
Okay.
C'est incroyable.
So you mark a level 1 harm like rope burn on your hand,
Okay.
and then say what you were gonna say. I guess as you go down kind of slowly.
I mean, it's still pretty fast. So I think all I'm going to like grab Alkadir, and I think we're going to say it together. Kethrys forever.
Yeah. Excellent. Kethrys forever shouted out, ringing across the stage. Yeah.
Yes.
And then Bidrohi lands on the guard, and then Alkadir falls down next to him and somehow does a 3-point landing.
I see that Bidrohi is about to land on me, and I just kind of look at the guard and I grab his hands in mine. I'm like, you should stand here. You can see it really well from here. And then I just push him into that place.
Oh no.
And then Bidrohi slaps down on him, and Alkadir. I think what Alkadir does is he grabbed onto the thing earlier because he had much more preparation. He slides down kind of slowly, and then like the last meter, he drops it and falls into 3-point landing. So he only actually fell like 1 meter, but.
And he's doing a 3-point landing, and he doesn't know how this happened, but he's clutching a rose in his teeth.
Yes.
Oh man,
excellent.
That's incredible. How did you manage
Yes.
that?
I have multiple roses in my flower crown.
Yes, finesse is the answer. Yep.
Okay, this is my contribution to the score.
Excellent. We are almost wrapped up, I think, but there still is the matter of Mushfiq in the pit.
Yes.
Even if you don't need to defeat Turzan, you do need to get out of his grasp. So, Mushfiq, what do?
He's grabbed hold of my clothes, right?
He's grabbed hold of your shirt. So you have your shirt is stuck to Turzan Diamondtooth, and your arm is stuck via the hook shot to a tree.
I mean, normally I would just attempt to like stab him, but we're trying not to kill him. Killing is bad. So,
I mean, he might not die if you stab him, unless you like stab him real good.
he's got to flex his muscles, and that stops the point of the sword.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the priority for Mushfiq is to try to get out of this bind, because I think this is too close for comfort.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think what I can try to do is maybe either try to cut off my own, like if he's grabbed a hold of the sleeve or something, to try to cut it off to go back, or even just try to like somehow take the shirt off.
Yes.
So.
just escape shirtless, wriggle out of your shirt. Yeah. I think it's totally possible. Again, you're sort of wrestling here, and this is a thing that can happen. So, okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're attempting to escape your shirt. I guess it's a finesse action.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Or wait, what if
Mm-hmm.
But why stop there if it's a finished action? He's got to hold off my shirt. He can keep my shirt. I'm gonna try to like tie his hands together using my clothes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, there's a lot going on here. So I was going to say that just escaping your shirt is risky standard because he's
Yeah.
kind of caught off guard and isn't in position to stab you. But I think this is just trading position for effect. So
Yeah, it is.
desperate,
Yeah.
great. Take your shirt off and somehow tie him up with it.
I want to set you up
Yes,
Mhm.
please.
with a flashback.
Okay.
Oh God, this
Yes.
does not sound good.
I saw your costume, the
Uh-huh.
one you were going to wear. And I was
Yeah.
like, Sher-e-Khattam, it would be super cool if at the moment of your triumph, you just pulled here and the whole thing came off.
So you've given Mushfik a stripper shirt. Is
Yes.
that what you've done?
Yes.
This is
Okay.
horrible, and I'm going to take it.
Okay. I guess we'll treat it as an assist. Spend the stress plus 1 die.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes it less desperate.
Oh
but
yes, 2 6s.
2 6s.
It's critical.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moment you have all been waiting for since you saw this man enter ring, okay?
Okay, the funny thing is that a critical hit is 5 ticks to the clock, so that's actually defeating Turzan somehow.
Yes, because
So-
like if you'll allow me, because I think as I
Yeah.
tie his hands together and Turzan's like, what the hell, like this is not how he saw this coming, and he's struggling with it. I'm just gonna headbutt him right like and smash his nose,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
knocking him out.
So you headbutt him. Do you then pull yourself out of the hole by the hook shot? Is that how you emerge? Or
Well, I think we never discussed like how many times I can use it, but I expect
Yeah.
I need to like
yeah, probably
like
needs to be
prepare it?
repowered. Yeah, so
Yeah,
instead
so
you just kind of climb out of the
Yeah,
hole,
yeah.
like shirtless, muddy, victorious.
I give you a hand, or should I say the end of the horn.
Yeah.
This is the symbol of Kethrys' triumph over House Unruckus.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think there's 2 things that are going to happen here. We're wrapping up the score here.
Yeah.
You are going to hand this horn back to House Anrakis, I think, because trying to take it off
Yes.
the grounds here is very bad for you.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but
It's fun.
but at the same time, you have provided a spectacle in the situation, and so while I think Deepu is incredibly annoyed, she didn't lose all that much money because, let's face it, not a lot of people were betting on this.
Yeah. But
'Cause
also
it was just boring.
maybe maybe she like maybe she's the kind of person who bets on the underdog anyway, because like she doesn't really need the money, right? But in this case, she probably
Yeah.
ran a book on us and then she made some cash off us.
I think that's the way to make sense of this. We are running out of time, so I think
Yes.
we'll go straight to payoff. But
Mhm.
a
I do want
successful
to
score.
State that the last thing that the
Yeah.
audience sees is that I publicly make out with Mumtaz. As
Of
is my
course.
right. As a
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah, you head over to her and make out with her. Al-Kader holds up the horn to like show it off to everyone, and then like pulls the mouthpiece in front of his face, and then realizes that he doesn't have anything to say. And that's where we cut, I think.
Excellent.
It just says,
Yes. Yep.
Very good.
Here close the doors to the House of Endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Soap, Soumithri, called Tree, and Emma. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha.
Next time on Desperate Attune, a holiday special with a special guest.
I just wanted to say you're singing so beautiful, so touching. I was just wondering, would you mind singing at my party tonight?
Oh, you sneaky little bitch.
Uh-huh. Well, it's your call whether you're opening your heart to Arathis, which is one possible take on this, or whether you're doing something sneaky and underhanded behind Yamani's back. You can frame it either way you like.
I'd like to frame it that Lissa's being legitimate. She does legitimately like his singing.
Okay,
Yeah.
then roll with poet. And just open your heart to him.
Yes,
See how
so
it goes.
it's just everyone here's been difficult with me, and it's a fucking war. So yeah, this
You
this
have
is great.
the nice
I'm
walking
having
with yourself.
such a
I'm very
good
sorry.
time. I have
I'm-
contingencies. Don't
Yes,
worry.
I do feel bad about this, but however, they misunderstand your intentions as uncharitably as possible. So I think it's just funnier if he thinks everyone is just Papadopoulos' pawns for some reason.
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, you want me to be at the party tonight, do you? What is he hiding, the doctor? Where will he be?"
At the party, of course. At the party.
A double bluff, or perhaps a triple bluff?
What?
Yes, the pieces are falling into place. I will be there. Or not. But I will, or not. Maybe. You'll see.
God.
Arathis backs out of the room, embroiled in his 4D chess match with Dr. Papadopoulos.
Dr. Papadopoulos, on the other hand, is actually playing croquet, so...
I'm drowning in the basement. What are you talking about?